everybody. We are back to talk about the Ranger Raptor. Today is going to be an update for 5,000 miles. We have made it for 5,000 miles. I got this back in April, and we're going to talk about all of the new additions that we've put onto the truck since my last update video, walk around video. Around when I first bought the truck, we got a lot of things that have changed, a lot of things that we've upgraded. Let's talk about it. So first, let's talk general truck update. Also, Haas is with me again, as is walk around fashion. So if you hear a bunch of good stuff going on over here, it's him playing with his ball. So general truck update. Spoiler alert, I still love this truck. It has been my favorite Raptor product that I've owned. In my previous video, I've talked about I own a bunch of Raptors. We won't go back into that. But overall, this is my favorite truck that I've ever owned. That's including full-size F-150 Raptors and Bronco Raptors. So it's skinny-ish compared to some of those other bigger trucks. It's nimble. It feels like a sports car. It feels somewhat like a rally car in the dirt, as I've talked about in other videos. It's very nimble, good turn in. It's been a phenomenal truck. After 5,000 miles, I do not regret this purchase at all. So we're gonna get that out of the way. There's a few things that I don't love about it, and there's a lot of things I love about it. And we're gonna make some other videos to go over those things. But today, we are strictly gonna go over where my build is at currently, what I like about my build, maybe some of the things that I would have changed, and maybe some things I'm looking to do in the future. To be honest, I'm almost done, at least of what is out there on the market. I have accessorized the shit out of this truck to the point to where I need to be done to give my wallet a break. So let's go over some of the things that I've done, and then after that, we're gonna go over some of the things I might wanna do. And along the way, we're gonna talk about some of the things I would change if I could start over. So let's do it. So let's talk one of the obvious new additions I have, which is the Trail Rack's roof rack for the Ranger Raptor. This released back in July. They were teasing it for a little while. I think they were trying to come out in the June time frame. They had some manufacturing issues where whoever did some of the manufacturing for them, some of the machining on some of these parts just wasn't up to snuff, so they had to return the parts. And then they they launched it in July. I was following it on the forums. I was really excited about it because Trail Racks is very well known among the Jeep community, very well known amongst the Bronco community for the quality product that they have. The 90-degree bend that they put here at the top to make things really, really sturdy. I've been really pleased with this. It's not that hard to install. You don't have to drop the roof liner. You just take some of this weather stripping out, some of the panels, and go in underneath to undo the bolts, to take the rain rail piece out, and then you can install this. It was kind of a pain in the butt. It's going to take you an afternoon by yourself, but if I can do it, you can do it. I can't speak specifically to wind noise, to be quite honest with you, because I have these Baja Designs Linkable up top, which do make a lot of wind noise because they're just sticking up above the roof rack, making a lot of noise. It's not unbearable for me. This is my daily driver. I drive at 70 miles per hour on the way into work. I can hear it in a crosswind. It's pretty loud, but just turn up the radio and it's really not that bad. On a long road trip, you could get used to it. It's nothing crazy. There's no whistling. There's nothing like that. It's just the buffeting from it. And I will say that they do make a full wind fairing, not the cutout like I have. So if you don't want any lights or anything like that, I would just go with the non-cutout version. But been very happy with the Trail Rack's roof rack and highly recommend. I think it's the best roof rack currently available for the Ranger Raptor. Another addition that I made, which wasn't in the last video, I still had it, but it just wasn't in the last video, is my FSR High Country V2 tent that I have. I had this on my F-150 Raptor. I didn't have it on in the last video just because it wasn't camping season, so I had no reason to put it up top. I really like this tent. They don't make it anymore from what I understand because they have some new series. I think the one that replaced it. Haas, come back. Thank you, sir. I think the new one that they have is called the Nova series that replaced this. It's a hardcover style. The thing I like about this rooftop tent, I like to keep my rooftop tent below the roof line as much as I can. I don't like it sticking up above. I think it looks weird, and it's just a lot of wind resistance. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. It's more for aesthetics reasons. But I like this because I can drop it down below and then you can deploy it out to give you more room. Fits two people. I'm a big fella, as you can tell. It fits me and my wife very easily. It's plenty of room. Another good thing about it, since this is a performance truck, we try to limit as much weight as we can. I say we, I just mean I try to limit as much weight as I can, even though I got a bunch of shit on the truck. This thing is only 120 pounds, which is incredibly light for a rooftop tent. A lot of them go upwards of 200 pounds. Even at 120 pounds, you know this is up here on this truck, especially it being higher up and not down low. When you go around turns, you can definitely tell this is up here. Even though that's the case, at 120 pounds, it's really not that bad. So another part that I had in the truck in the last video is the up top mid rack that I have. I don't think they advertise this for the Ranger Raptor, but it does fit. I think they advertise it for the F-150 Raptor, but it'll still fit on the Ranger Raptor dimension wise. But anyways, this rack's been great. Another great thing about it, it's very light. I think it's 60 pounds. So 60, 120, so we're at 180 pounds sitting up top of this Rolltrax roll top. Like I said, you can feel it, but it's way lighter than some of the other options out there. And the great thing about it, it's modular. So what I want to do this winter when it goes away from camping season, I don't do a lot of winter camping. I'm going to get a pulley system in my garage to where I can just undo this from the T-slots of the tonneau cover and just lift all of this out to get it off the back of my truck for the winter. So I can go high-speed drifting through the snow. But that's one thing I love about the T-slot rail style tonneau covers, because you can put these modular style racks to where you just unbolt it, lift it up, and get it out of the way, or just, you know, take it off and put it to the side. The tent, I am not the strongest man in the world, but at 120 pounds, I can manhandle this thing off the truck, put it somewhere, get it out of the way, and at 60 pounds, I can get this thing off the truck by myself and put it out of the way. So even if you don't have a lift or a garage, you can just take all this stuff off and go put it in the corner of your garage and you'll be fine. So while we're here, let's talk about the tonneau cover. This is the EGR Rolltrax tonneau cover, and I like the build quality of this thing. I put it on. It's a pain in the ass to install compared to some of the other tonneau covers out there. The thing I don't like about this tonneau cover, which if I could go back and do it, I probably wouldn't buy it, to be quite honest with you. I would just go with one of the Retrax covers or something like that. The T-slots do not go all the way out here, because I think they have a electronic version of this tonneau cover. This is the manual version that has a little module here to where you can auto, buttons where you can move the tonneau cover, right? They keep it the same for this, and the rails don't come all the way out. For this roof rack, it is a very tight fit. I'll do some B-roll right now, but it is a very tight fit. This up top roof rack can barely fit on this tonneau cover slot, and it's kind of sketchy at times. I probably need to get some shims, some thick shims or something like that to put in there to try to give it more surface area to grab to. But if I could go back and do it, because of the pain in the ass install this thing is, it's kind of intrusive with some of the drilling you have to do to get the water to drain out. I would just go the Retrax Pro, something like that, if I was going to go back and do it. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. This is just my honest opinion. EGR, it's very well made, very high quality. I would say if you're not looking to do a rooftop tent or a rack or anything like that with the T-slot rails, EGR is perfectly fine. If you're going to do my kind of setup, I wouldn't go with the EGR. So let's also talk the 80D Molly panels that I have. I talked about these in the last video. I've spent some time with them. I have some new accessories. Pause is helping me show this off. We have some new accessories on it, but they've held up really well. I have no problems with them. There's a couple other things out in the market now, or coming to market. Adventure Labs making a set of Molly panels, or I think they're out now, that look pretty good. And then the Built Right Industries, hello sir, I love you too. Built Right Industries has their own version coming out, or already out to market, which look good too. They're aluminum, they're lighter. Honestly, I don't know of any reason you would get one over the other. The 80D, I will say, like I said in my last video, they didn't fit up quite right because I have an aftermarket bed liner. The bolt holes at the front don't line up very well because the tolerances are so tight. Look at the other options, look to see what you can do. They're all kind of the same, to be honest with you. Get 80D, get the other ones, whatever, but I really like the Molly panel setup here because I tie so much crap down from flying around in the bed of the truck. It comes in handy. I don't have one at the front of the truck at the bulkhead. I think it's called a bulkhead, but I don't have one at the front of the truck. I kind of regret not doing it because I think it would be a pain in the butt to do it now that I have the tonneau cover on. If it fits, I'd get the one in the front. It's just helpful to have a tie down point in the front. The side panels in the Ranger aren't very tall, especially over the wheel well, so you don't have a lot of real estate. This is the biggest amount of real estate you have to latch something down, so I would give them definitely in the front if you have some bigger stuff, coolers, stuff like that you need to latch down. But overall, fine Molly panel. They've held up well. They don't rattle, they don't break, and I've tied a lot of crap to them. All right, wheels and tires. So for tires, I have the Falcon Wild Peak AT4W in a 315/70 R17. If you don't want to do the math, it is a 35-inch tire with a 12.5-inch wide. Big meats, big heavy meat that are much bigger than the 33-inch KO3s that come on here. Let's talk about the tires. In terms of what I like about them, they are really rugged. They have a really thick ply, 3-ply sidewall. I've had no problems. I've run up against rocks, never had to worry about it. They are great in the wet. They grip like hell, probably because of how wide they are, but also the tread pattern that it has here, way better with water than the KO3s. Some downsides: they are heavy. They are 74 pounds each, and you feel it on this truck. To be 100% honest with you, I think the 12.5-inch looks cool from the front. Very meaty, very big, very mean looking. A lot of rolling resistance and a lot of extra weight. Once these wear out, I'm probably going to go to a 35-inch by 11.5, which I think is like a 295/70 R17, to cut down on weight and also cut down on the rolling resistance. I don't think the truck needs that wide of a tire. There's a lot of science out there that tells you that a skinnier tire is actually better off-road because contact patch. I'll let you do your own YouTube researching on that, whether you believe that or not. I tend to believe it. 12.5-inch to me is just for looks. They are practical to an extent, right? More grip in the wet, but I would stick with 11.5. Save the weight, probably save the money. I would assume it's a little bit cheaper, maybe not, but I would definitely go with a 35 by 11.5, or I think it's a 295/70 R17. Falcon Wild Peaks are fine. They're a heavy tire. I may, when these start wearing down, I may look back at the KO3s to see if they offer a 35 by 11.5 in a load rating C, because I think they offered a load rating E or something like that. But these are a lot stiffer. You can definitely feel the rolling resistance. You can definitely feel the weight. I have a 5th tire in the back too that sits underneath the truck. It's just a bunch of added weight that you probably don't need. You could probably shave 10 pounds per tire, so 10 times 5, 50 pounds of unsprung weight, which is a lot. I mean, I know it's a truck, but 50 pounds of unsprung weight on a performance truck, you will absolutely feel the difference. So that would be my suggestion. 11.5, not 12.5. All right, and now hello, buddy. All right, RRW wheels. These are the 17 by 8.5 RRW monoforged, plus 25 offset. They work well. The plus 25 offset does have it poke out a little bit with the 12.5-inch tire. I do rub. I had to do some trimming back here, nothing crazy. The wheel's fine. I mean, monoforge, it's overkill. You don't need it. The casts are perfectly fine unless you're doing some crazy shit off-road, which I tend to not do. I do moderately crazy, not full crazy, but if you're bombing it, jumping it, whatever, maybe you want to go monoforge. I went because I thought I was going to get a bunch of weight savings, but I don't think it's that big of a weight savings difference between cast and forge, so you do with that information what you will. All right, something I think I failed to mention in my first walk around video, and then I talked about it in another video specifically, is the PPF. Also, I'll link both those videos down below. The PPF that I have on this truck is XPEL Stealth. It is a satin finish, not a matte finish, and I think it's held up incredibly well. I won't go into the intricacies of PPF and whether you should do it or not do it. You can go watch my other video or do your own research. But in terms of holding up and doing its job, it's done a really good job over the summer. I've gone through some skinny trails. I've went across trees and limbs and branches and shrubs and whatever, and nothing has left a mark on the truck. It's held up incredibly well. Another thing that I have done since the last time we talked, I added the Ford Performance tune to the truck. I did it myself. I didn't take it to a dealership. You know, call me crazy, but I think we'll be fine in terms of warranty. Straight from Ford. I think it's $800. Sometimes you can get it for like $600, $700 on a discount. It makes a big difference. Get the tune. Get the tune. It makes a big difference, especially if you go bigger tires, bigger wheels. Get the tune. It makes a huge difference. It bumps you up another 50 horsepower, I think another like 70, 80 foot-pound torque. You can 100% feel it. Haas, come back. Like I was saying, it makes a big difference in terms of driving. One thing that I'm really surprised about, it helped the miles per gallon. Honestly, it was like 2 miles per gallon better. I think when I first bought the truck, after 3 months of driving it, 2 months of driving it, I was getting around 16 miles per gallon. Once I had the tune, it went up to 18 miles per gallon, and it was faster, more responsive. The transmission tune is almost worth the price of entry by itself. It shifts through the gears much more intelligently. You don't get hang gears as much, and it doesn't get trapped in between gears, like deciding what it wants to do. It seems to be much better tuned in terms of the transmission. Get the tune. I don't care what anybody says. Get the tune. If you get this truck, you'd be a fool not to get the tune. All right, now we're going to go inside and talk about some of the interior mods. I don't have a ton. I have 2 small things that I've done to the interior. There's really not much out there in terms of interior mods, but I have 2 that I think are worth your attention, worth your time. This is the Tack Form Picatinny rail mount and phone mount. I have a video of me installing it that I'll link down below. This is a really cool accessory. It's very easy to install. It takes maybe like 30 minutes for you to install this, but it gives you an opportunity to do a phone mount if you want a tablet for off-roading or any other accessories, dash cam, something like that. They have a whole lot of accessories, but it's well priced. I think it's like $70. It's under $100, and it's super easy to install. I highly recommend looking into getting this Picatinny rail. Something else I don't think I talked about in my first video, but I had it in the first video, is this matte screen protector I bought. I think I just got like a cheap one off of Amazon. As you can tell, pretty dusty in here. I get my windows down, I'm off-roading, and it gets really dusty in here. I didn't do a screen protector on my Bronco Raptor when I had it, and I scratched the screen up like hell, and not because I wasn't taking good care of it. When you get this dust on here and you start touching and moving your hand around, you're gonna scratch the soft screen that's behind this. This is a super cheap install. I like the matte because it cuts down on fingerprints hugely and also cuts down on glare. It may not have the screen look as glossy as the stock, but you get used to it, your eyes get used to it, and I actually like the glare being cut down and it not showing fingerprints. But it's a worthy upgrade. I would look into it. All right, another new addition I have is this onward molly panel system. It's not like a hard molly panel system, it's a soft molly panel system. I got this at Overland Expo last week. I talked to the guys there and they talked me into buying this. It was a spur of the moment purchase, but I think it's a really cool idea. So this is a pack system that they had a deal on when we were there, but these just lift right out. It's just Velcroed in. This is what I use for camera gear now. So it drops out, has some places for lenses, some extra little trinkets. If you don't have camera stuff, you can use it for whatever you want. There's a built-in pouch down below, and then there's like a little trash pouch built down below. It came with 2 of these. They have these little flaps on the back that you just put into the molly panel and Velcro it down. I got another panel for the other side. I have some extra accessories that I ordered online that they were out of stock of at Overland Expo. But I think this is a really good option for storage, especially if you do YouTube videos or you film or you shoot with cameras or you have drones. It saves you a little bit of room. There's not a lot of room back here, being a mid-sized truck. So it does take up all of your foot room, but all you have to do is detach it from here, detach it down below, and you can pull this whole thing out. So if you don't want to drive around with it all the time, just drive around with it when you need it. But I think this is a cool accessory. I don't really like the hard molly panels, in case people are sitting back here and they got to squeeze their legs in. This is a cool option. Very cool company, very cool owners, very cool people that work for them. I enjoyed talking with them, and yeah, I think you should give it a look. Onward Supply, I think, is the name of the company, but it's Onward, ONWRD, because they fancy. So very cool stuff. Very well made product. Up on the roof rack, I do have the Baja Designs Linkable. This is 7 Linkable that I have up top. They're very bright. I don't have them angled correctly, so anyone in the video that has a sharp eye would know that these are pointing way too far down. But I need to do some adjustment on them. The covers that I have on them were just stickers from a company called Sticker Fab. I can link their link down below for the exact ones that I have. The Trail Racks comes with a cutout for a light bar. These do fit up top, like I said before. They do make a bit of wind noise, but way more light output than just a light bar. I think it looks cool. I think they are very well made. If I were to go back and do it again, I might just do the light bar, to be completely honest. But Baja Designs does not make a bad product, and I think it adds a lot of cool factor to the truck. All right, I think that does it for all the new accessories that we have on the truck. So let's talk things in the future that I may do and things that I may change. I do have a 2¼ inch lift in the front with a spacer. I'm getting rid of that. I don't like the way it makes the truck drive. I don't like how much it stiffens up the front. It takes all of the preload out of the spring, and it kind of makes it to where the front of the truck wants to do this on washboards and sometimes just on the road. If I were you, and if you have a load in the back and you want to lift it a little bit to fit some tires, go with the geyser springs. That's what I'm going to go with. I was actually talking with the owner of Trail Racks, Adam, at Overland Expo, and his build. He has the geyser springs, which I think lift it 1.5 inches in the front and 2 inches in the back. It pretty much levels it out with 500 pounds in the back of the truck. But the geyser springs may ride a little bit stiffer, but they're way better in handling and off-roading, and it doesn't take all the preload out of your springs. Ford puts these springs really soft from factory. So if you like that really cushy, soft feel, maybe don't do a lift at all. If you're like me, you want a little bit of a lift, you got a load in the back, go with the geysers. I'm gonna go do that. That's probably my next install, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. After that, I don't know what else to do without spending a incredible amount of money. I know 74 Weld has some stuff coming out. I'm not doing portals. I'm not spending $20,000 on portals. I'm not that guy. I'm not that hardcore. I don't need it. I would really like to do a bumper of some sorts. I don't really care for the factory bumper on the Ranger. Not so much the looks, but just there's no modularity. The fog light cutouts were kind of dumb on Ford's part. They don't make it modular to where you can put in different stuff. They don't have any mounting points on the front to put lights if you need it. And it just kind of looks boring. I love the ADD bumpers, but it's like $4,000 without installation to get into the ADD bumpers, and that's just too much money. I also want to get rid of the running boards here. They stick down too low. They're kind of in a weird spot. They're too high and too low all at the same time. I want some rock rails. If you look at anybody that off-roads these things, I even have some nicks down below from hitting rocks. Everyone has chips taken out of these things. Everyone's hit a rock, and it's like not even anything crazy. Like if you go over anything moderately tough, you're gonna hit the running boards. I want some rock sliders to pick these up, get it against the truck, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. There's a lot of debate online about whether you should go with the factory mount, which is a body mount rock rail, or if you go frame mounted. There's companies that argue it either way. There's a lot of people in the communities that argue it either way. I want frame mount for myself. Not that I'm doing anything crazy. Like I'm probably not gonna do the Rubicon in this thing or Black Bear, or anything. But I don't know how I feel about body mounted rock rails. If you're putting the full weight of the truck on it, or if it's like a hard hit, which is really more likely than me like slowly crawling over a rock. Like I really want it for protection, and if I drop over something, I don't control my descent or don't control my braking over a rock, and it just comes down and hits hard. I want something I know can take that abuse, and I don't know if body mounted will do that. So gonna do rock sliders at some point. I think RCI is gonna make some. I talked to them at Overland Expo. Seems like they're gonna come out with some body mounted options. Really hoping for that. And then last, I keep debating if I want to do skid plates or not. Right now I'm on the side of probably not at this point. I haven't been really anywhere close to where I'm afraid I'm going to get anything hit up underneath. Now if I start doing some stuff that's a little bit more gnarly, yeah, I do solo off-road quite a bit, so maybe it's worth the investment and the peace of mind if I do get into some gnarly stuff that I'm not going to break or tear anything up underneath there. But I'm kind of on the fence about the skid plates right now. They're not too expensive, but you know, $800 is still a lot of money. But right now I'm I don't really need it. I really built out this truck to everything I wanted to do with it, with the exception of a few things, and I just don't know if skid plates are one of those that I need to add on. I think that's about it. I still love this truck. I am really bad about having a truck for a year and then turning it in and getting something new, but I think I'm keeping this one. I have enjoyed it. It puts a smile on my face when I get on a back dirt road that I can just haul ass on and huck it around corners and go little Dukes of Hazzard with it. I love this truck. I really do, and I don't think it compromises on much. It's so fast. It's so capable. Yeah, I mean, it's not a Jeep. It's not going to do some super gnarly rock crawling stuff, but dude, this thing hauls ass. It's so much fun. It's a twin turbo V6 with close to 500 horsepower, over 500 foot-pounds torque when you put the tune in it. There's nothing like it on the market right now. There's just absolutely nothing. The only way I would trade it in, I'm hearing rumors, there were some rumors spreading at Overland Expo, that Ford has something in the works with the Ranger Raptor. And I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but it could include a V8. If it doesn't include a V8, it's definitely going to include factory 35s. All speculation, but there was more than one point of rumor mill circulation that I was hearing that from. And there were some Ford reps at the Overland Expo as well, from my understanding, that were kind of wink, hinting at they got something in the works for the Ranger Raptor in the United States. We'll see if that's true. We'll see if that makes it past the lawyers. We'll see if that makes it past the bean counters. But if that's the case, your boy's going to be trading it in. I've already I've already sent a note to my Ford dealer, shout out Castle Rock Ford, that they better put me at the top of the list if there's a V8 ever getting thrown in one of these things. If it's just factory 35s, probably not, but from what I hear, the thought process is they want to compete with the ZR2 Bison, that there is like an upgraded style version of the Ranger Raptor for the United States. Is that the Ranger Raptor R? Who knows? Is it just a Ranger Raptor Bison edition, Warthog edition, whatever Ford's going to call it? We'll see. I don't mean get your hopes up. I have no internal contacts at Ford. No one's feeding me this information. It's just pure speculation. There's not even a lot on it on the internet. I went searching to see if I could find anything on the internet about it. This is purely word of mouth at an Overland Expo, so take it with a grain of salt. But if Ranger Raptor R comes out, your boy is spending whatever he's got to get it. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this video. If there is anything you would like to see me do or talk about more in detail about this truck, please let me know in the comments down below. If there's something about my truck you think I should upgrade, or a new product out there that I don't know about, let me know. See if we can work out a deal with that company to get it on the truck, or maybe I'll just buy it out of my own pocket. But if there's anything you want to see with the Ranger Raptor, anything you want me to talk about, any of my experiences, anything you would like to know if you're out in the market buying, I do have videos about it compared to the Tacoma and the ZR2, link down below. I do have a couple other videos about trinkets and loadouts and something like that, so maybe check my channel and see if there's something that you can learn about in that. But if there's anything you want me to do, anything you want me to talk about, I'm here for the community of Ranger Raptors. There's not a lot of content out there on YouTube about the Ranger Raptor, which kind of inspired me to start this YouTube channel altogether. So please, if there's anything you need, anything you want me to talk about, just reach out to me. I am more than happy to give you whatever information I can give you on this. So until next time, thank you for watching. Go watch some of my other videos. We're going to throw out a couple more videos. The next ones I do are probably going to be the 5 things I hate about the Ranger Raptor and the 5 things I love about the Ranger Raptor. So look forward to those videos. All right, guys. Peace.